Hey, what's up everybody? We are back again, and today we are once again going to be talking about the transgender goblin himself, Dave Bluntz. Now, if you're not familiar with Dave Bluntz at this point, I would honestly be kind of surprised, considering just how big he's gotten in the past couple months. I mean, this guy has been in the game for less than a year at this point, and he's already managed to have several songs go viral online. He's had a bunch of memes made about him. Every time he performs, people talk about it, which is very rare for an artist. And on top of that, he's also managed to make a lot of big time connections with mainstream artists like Kanye West, which I know isn't all that impressive nowadays considering just how far Kanye's fallen. But I mean, props where they're due, it's definitely still a pretty big win for a pretty big guy, and it seems like his career isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon. However, when you manage to gain that much fame that quickly, you have a lot of people who are going to be very jealous and envious of your success, which has led Dave Bluntz to get into a lot of beefs with many different underground artists. However, unlike most underground artists who absolutely can't take any sort of drama whatsoever, and whenever they find themselves in any sort of controversy, they completely shut down and start lashing out, Dave Bluntz has actually been pretty good at making himself the butt of the joke, which is definitely a positive trait when it comes to any sort of entertainer. It seems like in the modern day, everybody wants to be famous with none of the downsides. They never want to face any backlash. They never want to get made fun of. But of course, if you're going to be in the public eye, you're going to face a lot of scrutiny. But not only has Dave Bluntz managed to face every single controversy that's been put in front of him, he's also managed to capitalize off of all of them and use them to his advantage. As after all, the more that you beef with other artists, the more attention you're going to get from their fan bases, and even though a lot of them probably won't like you and will clown on you, it's gonna get you more talk online and only push your image even farther, and Dave Bluntz knows that better than anybody. However, when I last covered Dave Bluntz all the way back in June, it seemed like he was starting to go a little bit too far with trying to piss people off, which does make a lot of sense. I mean, after all, he's hanging out with Kanye all the time, which means he's gonna start to get into that more edgy side of the internet, which is something that you definitely can use to your advantage when you're a smaller artist. There's definitely a fine line when it comes to being edgy online, because if you're a new artist who really has nothing to lose and no audience whatsoever, sometimes playing into that shock value can get you the initial attention that you need to really get your foot in the door of the rap industry. But for somebody like Dave Bluntz, who has already made it to this massive point, I think being edgy is really gonna hurt him more than help him. And while I definitely do have a ton of respect for him for continuing to be who he is after getting famous and not switching up to try to appeal to a more mainstream audience, similarly to somebody like Little Darky, who did all the edgeball shit in the world before he got famous, but now all of a sudden that was all for a deeper meaning and it was never really edgy in the first place. That type of stuff is kind of corny, so if you're gonna be edgy, go all the way. And that's exactly what Dave did, although I did feel like he was going a little bit too far in certain places and pissing off a big portion of the audience that he didn't need to piss off. But surprisingly, only a couple days after I put that video out, Dave would make a full 180, immediately taking to Instagram to tell all of his fans that he was once again in the hospital and he was completely sick and tired of letting them all down. He would go on to say that he wanted to focus more on his physical health and getting in shape, that he wanted to thank all the fans who had taken him from poverty to riches, which is honestly really nice to hear. Oftentimes you never see rappers be this humble, as well as telling them that he was going to be taking a little bit of a break from social media to focus on his real life, which went on for about a week or two before he immediately came back. However, the type of stuff that he has been posting is definitely a lot more positive. He's been doing turkey drives, he's been giving money back to communities who really need it, and just overall, it seems like we have a much more positive Dave Bluntz. However, old habits definitely die hard, because very recently he's once again found himself in another beef, and this time not with some small underground artist that nobody's ever heard of before. He's actually beefing with a big mainstream artist, and that's the man himself, Mr. Many Men, 50 Cent. And if you know anything about 50 Cent, you know once he's in a beef, he never gives up. He's the definition of Mr. Petty. I mean, this guy has been on Diddy's ass, pause, for the better part of 2 decades. Rightfully so, but at the same time, he never lets a grudge go. If you owe him money, he's gonna get that money back. If you fuck him over, he's gonna fuck you over twice and way harder. Pause once again. So yeah, 50 Cent is definitely not the type of guy that you want to mess with. But on the other hand, Dave Bluntz is pretty well a modern day 50 Cent. I mean, he's nowhere near as petty and doesn't seem to drag things out as much, or at least we haven't seen it yet, as he's only been in the game for about a year, so it is possible possible that him and Kanye will still be beefing in the year of 2050, but we won't know until that happens. But let's not get off topic. The main point that I'm trying to make here is Dave Blunts has never backed down from a beef before, and I don't think he's going to be afraid to face 50 Cent. So without further ado, why don't we explain why they're fighting in the first place? So this all popped off about a month ago in June when Kanye would announce that he was actually going to be going to the Diddy trial, and not only go there to make fun of Diddy or try to get back at him, but actually to support him. Now to some this wouldn't really be all that surprising considering that he's been supporting Diddy in the media for the past couple months, but to me I actually found this kind of shocking because I thought the only reason that Kanye was doing that was to be edgy, and that definitely could still be the case, but considering that he's actually showing up to support a offender, I would say that he's going a little bit too far with the joke, and that would be the same sentiments that would be shared by many in the rap game. I mean, dude, it's actually kind of impressive how far Kanye has put himself into the mud. Every time I think he's taken it too far and that he can't possibly top himself, he finds another way to do so. First, he wears a shirt that says White Lives Matters, which honestly isn't all that bad, and then he goes on to say that before then saying after that, he would go on to say that he actually had with his cousin, and now he's defending a predator. And honestly, all of that other shit I don't really give a fuck about. I mean, it's bad, but if he's gonna be edgy and try to get attention, I'm not really gonna get too offended about that because he probably doesn't mean it. But supporting P. Diddy is where he definitely has taken it a little bit too far. And it seems like 50 Cent agrees with me because he would immediately hop on Instagram and say, "We were wearing white in honor of the freak-offs, damn ye, you should have brought your dirty little wife with you with that Grammy outfit," with him then going on to show a couple different screenshots of Kanye outside of the courthouse. And while he's definitely being pretty disrespectful here, I feel like it's warranted considering the fact that once again he's protecting a offender. I mean, damn man, it's bad enough that everybody in the underground constantly co-signs, but it seems like even in the mainstream people are on the same shit. But if that's all there was to the story, there really wouldn't be a whole lot worth talking about. I mean, Kanye West acting crazy and 50 Cent talking shit. In other news, the sky's still blue and the sun came up this morning. But of course, our boy Dave Blunts was not going to take this disrespect laying down, although he probably was sitting down when he saw the post. But either way, he wasn't going to let anybody take shots at his main boy Kanye. And he would immediately take to his story saying, "50 Cent, your baby mama was getting pooped on and peed on, hold this L and stop riding dick." And of course, never missing the chance to capitalize on an opportunity, Dave Blunts would immediately preview a diss track on 50 Cent where he would once again talk about how his baby mother got pissed on and pooped on. Curtis Jackson wanna diss me, nigga must be smoking old fit. Heard your baby mama got a color shot 9 times as 50 Cent. If you're new to Dave Blunts, you might be a little bit surprised by this, but that's basically par for the course for him. I mean, when he got into a beef with another underground rapper going by the name of Can, he would make a hit song where he would call him the F slur, which, well, like I said, basically nothing's off the table. But can't get fucked with lady boys, I just think he should own it. I mean, look at the dude, he's 600 pounds, of course nothing is off the table, and beef is his favorite food. But corny jokes aside, which he would probably eat as well, he really was getting disrespectful. And while in most cases I definitely fuck with this energy, it feels a little bit weird to make fun of somebody for their baby mother getting shit on by somebody that your homie's defending. It's kind of like, yeah, get shit on, bro. Your baby mother got fucked up by my boy, P. Diddy, at a Diddy party, unconsensually. Like, is that really what you're gonna want to be standing on? I mean, I get it, Dave. I want to be on your side. I want to see you win, and I want to see you take down the industry bit by bit, but you're kind of coming into this on shaky ground. I mean, defending Diddy by proxy is really not the move that you want to make. And on top of that, the diss track would mostly fall on deaf ears because apparently 50 Cent was actually overseas trying to promote a movie, or he was on tour or something. Basically, he wasn't around to really respond to Dave Blunts. But the second that he touched back down, he was ready for all of the smoke, with him immediately posting a picture of Dave Blunts saying, "Yay, this your mans. If I catch him, I'm pushing him down the stairs," which is honestly a pretty light diss, but pretty funny at the same time. After that, he would take yet another shot at Kanye West by posting a picture of him on the sidewalk saying, "Bitch, the sidewalk is for pimping. You get your ass out of the street and catch a date." Now, I don't really know what he means by this, but Kanye kind of looks like a gremlin, so funny picture and W50, I guess. We then have some comments on the post from different rappers, with of course Can getting involved saying me too. We have another guy saying he loves that jumpsuit. Somebody shares a gif of a blueberry. Pretty accurate, I'm not gonna lie. And then somebody says you and what army, basically implying that Dave Blunt's is so fat that you're gonna need like 50 people to push him down those stairs, which honestly I don't really think so. All it would take is a little bit of motion and he would completely go down. But honestly, I shouldn't even joke about that. Dave, please do not go out that way. If you die from falling down the stairs, that's gonna be the saddest day in hip hop history. We cannot lose the GOAT. After that, we get another comment from Can where he says that suit stinks, which honestly he's probably right about, but at the same time, he said it as a fact, like he actually knows that Dave Blunt stinks. But if you've never been around him, how could you possibly know? Dave Blunt and Can were at the Diddy party together, confirmed. I mean, it's basically a fact at this point. Don't check me on that one. After that, we have another comment saying 50 talking all that shit, but if bro farts, it's over. And honestly, he's not wrong, but it's not only going to be over for 50, it's going to be over for all of us. If Dave Blunt lets it rip as hard as he can, we're going to have another nuclear explosion. And then after that, we got another post saying, damn, what the stairs did to you. But besides that, that's basically all of the comments worth reading on 50's post. So now let's look at how Dave Blunt's responded to all of this, because he would immediately clap back by saying 50 Cent, I've been going to the gym and been locked in on my health journey. The world is watching me lose weight, but you lost all the weight for that weak ass movie and nobody watched that shit. He then goes on to show a very blurry picture of 50 Cent, where he kind of looks like Skeletor in blackface, but at the same time, he's still in way better shape than Dave Blunt, so I don't really think that's where you want to hit 50. If you're going to swing at the king, you're probably going to have to swing a little bit harder than that. We then have one comment on this post from the rapper Token saying it's war, and honestly, that's basically the only positive comment that I saw. There were a couple people saying, hey Dave, this is kind of cool, but for the most part, people were making fun of him. Which is honestly to be expected, because after all, Dave Blunt is a meme rapper and 50 Cent is a heavily respected OG in the game. But despite that, I think Dave is going to show us all that he can really hold his own. Either that, or he's going to be completely decimated by 50 Cent, but either way, I'm here for it. And it seems like Dave is as excited as me for all of this to go down, because he would immediately post, let the games begin, sharing the post that 50 Cent put up, showing that he's not backing down, he's not apologizing, and he is willing to go all in to defend the boy Diddy. Why did it have to be Diddy? Why, Dave? He would also go on to share a comment as somebody saying wrong man to beef with somebody responding to that by saying you ain't listen to Dave, diss Antonio Brown. It was called Crimes, and he also made a diss record on some screaming N-word called White B. 50 ain't funnier than Dave. He's gonna roast the shit out of him in the non-dressing and community. Pussy baby mama having ass N-word. Just wait on it, lol. Bro, do you realize how hard it is to read some of these comments? Can you people speak normal? I already have brain damage and a speech impediment. It really is making my life a lot harder than it needs to be. I mean, come on, man. Being a YouTuber is a tough job. But with all that said, that's basically the beef so far. It's been pretty stagnant for the past couple months, but recently it's definitely fired up again, and I'm hoping that the two of them are really going to make something special. I mean, Dave Blunt's making a diss track on 50 Cent is pretty funny, but if 50 Cent actually makes a diss track on Dave Blunt's, boys, I'm going to say it, fuck that Kendrick and Drake shit. That's going to be the greatest rap beef of all time, so we really got to get that. Dave, don't let us down. 50, don't take this laying down. Diddy, please go to prison forever. Kanye, get off the whippets and free that boy Space Ghost Perp. I know he has nothing to do with this video, but he's in prison right now. So free him, take Diddy instead, and if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 30K and I really want to reach that. And with all that said, I will see you in the next one, which might be more of this beef or maybe something completely different. Who knows? Shout out to Knife Gang. I have been Twisted World and I will see you in the next one, boys. Get a job. Peace out.